Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our guests, and good evening to my fellow Toastmaster. Confucius once said, if your plan is for a year, plant rice. If your plan is for 10 years, plant tree. But if your plan is eternity, then educate. Let's have a brief definition about education. Well, education is the transfer of knowledge from one generation to another. And knowledge is a power and process. You can use your knowledge to harm or to help, but I will use it to build a safer world to live in by the next generation. Teaching is a two-way process, just like communication. Yes, it's not only about the transfer of message from one person to another, but also it's the speakers imparting idea, concepts, and data to a group of listeners. Just like my students if I'm a teacher. It must be learned and need to be mastered, just like teaching. Teaching is not my dream at all. I don't want to be a teacher. I finished my communication degree or AP communication because I see myself that I will work in the media industry. But it made me realize when I took my graduate studies that I think that's not my calling. Probably for me, I think there's one need that always the thing that I want to do. And it made me realize that teaching is my calling, my vocation, and as the noblest profession, or the noblest profession so far. And I was given a chance to be one of the scholars of Step Up PBED. Among the thousands, 100,000 applied online, I was chosen to be the last batch of the Step Up PBED scholars at University of Santo Tomas. It's my dream school after all, and that's why I choose that school to finish my 18 units of education. But I'm grateful that after finishing the 18 units of education, they help us in our review and our board exam. They spent everything. And these education units that I earned, I did not pay anything because it's all free. From enrollment to tuition fee to board examination and allowances. And it made me realize as a teacher, I must have a knowledge and expertise in the subject matter that I am discussing inside my classroom. And I must be a good communicator. So my teaching techniques are based on the subject that I will teach, and of course, based on my learners as well. I will look for a method and strategies that will help my students to understand our lesson easily so that they can already easily grasp the ideas that I want to impart to them. I will craft a technique that are beneficial to my learners that will make me as a unique teacher and a teacher that probably loved and not hated by my students. I understand that every student is unique. No one is alike. We have those individual differences. I will not teach only what is written or stated in the book, but I will teach as well the real life experiences, not just only the theories, but the real life examples. I will teach them that very important that respect begets respect. Be kind always. And aside from their skills, since skills can be learned, but values should be taught. And as a teacher, you should walk the talk. I will teach not to impress, but rather I will teach to impress my students. As a teacher, I consider my responsibilities to educate, to inform, and sometimes I entertain my student by singing, even my voice is not that good. And I create and reflect opinions to my students, especially on what is happening in our society right now and in our country. I make sure that I am informed on the latest trends, latest updates, in the field of my subjects or on the subject that I am teaching. I will let them use their eyes to observe what is happening right now, the ears to listen to the cry of the people, touch and feel, and they use their mouth to inquire and ask questions and ask critical thinking and their common sense. That's very important. I want to make sure that my student can understand the lesson that I teach and apply the lesson in their daily life. I always love to hear feedback from them. Feedback makes me a better person, makes me a better teacher. And I make sure always that there's an open communication between me and my students, as well as my colleagues and co-teachers. And I let my classroom as an environment to be conducive place for learning. I will let the students create their classroom policy because I don't want to impart. It's them who will regulate themselves. If someone commits mistake, I will listen to him or to her personally. I will not judge that person. I should always, and I have always a patience towards my students. Tolerate them. Or I need to maximize my tolerance. I will love them unconditionally, equally, and equitably. My class will have a room, or my classroom is a classroom for motivation, encouragement, skills, and character development. As a teacher, I will continue to learn and pursue studies and keep on learning that will improve my effectiveness and efficiency as a teacher to be globally competent. I will do my best to have a healthy relationship with my colleagues and my school community. For me, teaching requires dedication, commitment, and passion. I will dedicate and commit myself to guide, to teach the youth of today, to bring back the Filipino values that we have before. I will teach them what is right and what is just. I will hope for their future learning, faith in them that they can, and they will get through everything through their hard work, belief, and trust in God. And I will teach them to be human and remember that divine law is the basis of human law. Through teaching, I will touch the lives of my students and help them to become responsible member of the society, globally competitive, and most importantly, have fear in God. I am a teacher. I am always willing to help and provide assistance. I will let my passion for teaching continue burning and lighting to help the youth who are hope of our future. Thank you and good evening.